What's up, guys? I hope you're well. Today, we're checking out the unusual history of F1 teams. Let's get into it, shall we?
Have you ever wondered what Mercedes used to be known as back in 1954?
Sure.
Or how, at one point, technically, Renault competed against itself? Well, wonder no more as we dive into the unusual history of F1 teams. Let's get the easy ones out the way first.
Okay.
Historic teams such as Ferrari, Williams and McLaren have always been the same team.
Boring.
Simple. Same goes for Haas, who entered Formula 1 recently. But this is where it
Lame.
gets a little tricky. Let's start with Aston Martin Red Bull Racing, for example. From 1997 to 1999 they were known as Stewarts, and from the 2000 season they were the lean, mean green machines. Anyone guessed it yet? It is of course Jaguar. They didn't do too well though, apart from a couple of podiums, and at the end of 2004 they were sold to the energy drinks company that we all know and love, Red Bull. Now that all seems pretty straightforward, right? We've only just begun, let me tell you.
Okay.
At the end of 2005, Red Bull weren't happy with just the one F1 team, so they bought F1's lovable backmarkers Minardi and transformed them into what we know as Toro Rosso. Did you know Toro Rosso means Red Bull in Italian? My mind is actually blown.
Yeah,
Paul Stoddart
that's
sold
cool.
Minardi on the one condition that the
it.
team continued its operations in the quiet Italian town of Faenza. So when Sebastian Vettel won at Monza in 2008, you can understand how incredibly special that was for the team. Right, I hope you're strapped in and ready for your brain to be frazzled, because we're getting on to Renault now, who has one of the most confusing histories of all. It all began in 1981 as Toleman, who gave Ayrton Senna his F1 debut. They only lasted 4 years though, as in 1985 a clothing company came along and bought them, Benetton. Benetton were of course the team with which Michael Schumacher won 2 world championships, but by 2001 the team were backmarkers. 2002 is when Renault acquired the team and delivered another 2 championships with Fernando Alonso in 2005 and 2006. Now you're probably wondering when the confusing part is going to kick in.
Yep.
Yeah, it's now. At the end of 2010, Renault became Lotus Renault GP, but the constructor was still officially Renault in 2011. When Renault became the Lotus F1 team in 2012, the constructor name changed to Lotus. However, whilst this was all going on, a new team had entered F1 and called itself Team Lotus. Team Lotus was actually a new team from Malaysia, but owned the rights to run the Lotus name. So in 2011 we had Lotus and Lotus on the grid, but neither of them being the Lotus team from the 1960s. Are you still with me? Hello?
Yeah,
So the Lotus that used to be Renault was called Lotus until the end of 2015, where Renault repurchased the team and it all became simple again. But there is a little bit more. Renault's history traces back to the Toleman in the 1980s, a period when the Renault factory team first raced in F1, which means technically the Renault team of today actually competed against itself. If my brain was a steak, it'd be somewhere around the medium to well done range at this point. So let's move on to a couple of easier ones for the sake of my own health. Sauber's history is fairly simple. They entered in 1993 and ran as Sauber until 2005. BMW Sauber was born in 2006 when BMW purchased a majority share but achieved only one victory with Robert Kubica in 2008. BMW withdrew from Formula 1 at the end of 2009 and Sauber has continued in F1 to this day. Force India is up next and its roots can be traced right back to 1991 and, as Eddie Jordan likes to remind everyone as much as possible, the team was originally Jordan. They had great success with giving Michael Schumacher his debut in 1991, Damon Hill winning at Spa in 1998, and Heinz-Harald Frentzen almost winning the title in 1999. In 2005, however, Jordan was sold and became Midland F1 Racing. But that didn't last long, as in 2007 the Dutch car company Spyker took over, which only lasted a year too. And in 2008 Vijay Mallya took over and they became Force India. However, as you will know if you've been into F1 recently, Force India went into administration, which then created Racing Point Force India as of the 2018 Belgian Grand Prix. Finally, we have Mercedes. The legendary manufacturer joined Formula 1 in 1954 and dominated the sport for 2 years with one Manuel Fangio. The team we know now, however, started life as a Tyrrell. Jackie Stewart had fantastic success with Tyrrell, securing 2 of his 3 world championships with them. Technically his first championship in 1969 was with Mattress because Tyrrell didn't run their own cars until 1971.
He raced a Mattress?
Tyrrell had little success in its final years and became BAR in 1999. Honda, who had supplied works engines for the team since 2000, ended up taking over the team in 2006 to become a full F1 manufacturer team. Shockingly, Honda left the sport in December 2008, which opened the door for one of the greatest sporting stories ever. Brawn GP was formed just weeks before the start of the 2009 F1 season, when Ross Brawn purchased the team for just £1. It proved to be one of F1's great success stories, as the team took a 1-2 in its first ever race and went on to win both championships. It would only be a one-hit wonder, however, as Mercedes-Benz took over in November 2009 and became the Mercedes GP we know of today. Phew! The history of F1 teams is a complex one, so much so I'm off for a cold shower and a lie down. What F1 team's history intrigues you the most? Let us know in the comments section below.
All right, yeah, that was I like that a lot. That's cool. Learning the history of the teams. Okay. All right, so yesterday we learned about what the flags mean. Today we learned the history of the teams. Wonder what I got next. We'll find out. I don't even know what I'm gonna watch for tomorrow's F1 video. But yeah, I'm having a good time doing this every day. It's just I'm having a blast with this. Hope you guys are enjoying watching it. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Stay safe and don't forget to wash your hands. Bye.